Welcome back to Anything Goes Fishing. Today I'm going to talk about 3 basic knots that I use for fishing. Shouldn't say I use all of them. 2 of them I use and I really like. The one was just taught to me recently, but I figured I'd share it with you guys because it's a fairly easy knot to tie. So today we're going to be using a little drop shot weight for example purposes. Just got to get my rod cover off here so I can get up my line. So there's my line. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to turn you guys around, I'll use this as something just for you guys to look at, just to give you guys a background so you can see the line really well. Alright, so just turn you guys around here. Alright, so now you guys are looking down where I need you to be. So just give me a sec. Oh god. Let me just pull some more line out here. Out of my bait caster. There we go. So, you guys are just sitting looking at my rag I use, or my cloth for cleaning my lens on my camera. So, here's our drop shot weight. So we're going to start with the first knot. Sorry about that. Just, it's called the clinch knot. My grandpa taught it to me. It's a very simple knot to tie. I use it on all my Senko rods, except my Texas Senko rod, on my wacky worm rod, I should say, and all my monofilament. Anything with monofilament, like my topwater rod. I find it just works really well with the monofilament and the small wacky hook for whatever reason. So yeah, this is how you tie that. So you just start putting line through. So you can pull out some line just through there. And I always spread the line and pinch off a loop. See why here in a sec. So then you just wrap this 10 to 12 or 8 to 12 times. 8's fine. I always do 10 just because I'm not going to count this time really. I'm just going to wrap till it looks right for you. But yeah, wrap around 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 times, sorry. I normally do 10. And then you're going to take your tag that you just wrapped and you're going to put it through that loop that you pinched with your fingers. Pull that down. You're going to wet this with your mouth. Just spit on a little bit. Just to help it. And then you're going to pull tight. The other end a little snug. And if it doesn't quite pop down right away, that's okay. Take your thumbs and kind of... It did pop down that time. It doesn't... Normally not, but if it doesn't, you can just kind of snug it up. I always just snug it up even if it doesn't pop down, just to be extra safe. And that's just how you tie that knot. Very basic knot. Like I said, my grandpa showed it to me. I just recently learned that it was called the clinch knot. So that's the clinch. And you're just cut this off here. Perfect. Alright, next knot is probably my favorite knot, and if I'm in a hurry and I need to tie knot really quick, this is the knot I tie just because it's fairly quick and easy. So you take your tag and you're going to pull out and you're going to fold it over itself. So you have a little loop here built up, as you can see there on camera. You're going to pinch that tight, and you're going to put both the loop, like both your tag and your main line through in the loop. Put that through. So then I like to open up this loop at this point. There you go. So, and then what you're going to do, oops, not leave enough tag. But that's okay, because if you don't leave enough tag, you just pull on your main line and then pull a bigger tag. So, there you go. Really big tag now. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your looped line and you're going to wrap it around once. And you're going to bring it through that hole that you've just made. So you wrapped it around once there. You're going to put it through that hole. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing enough here. So then you put it through that hole. And see how you kind of just did like a little granny knot with it? It's the best way to kind of describe it, it's just a little granny knot. Then you're going to open up that loop and put whatever you're tying it around through it. And you're going to grab your tag line, so this end, and you're going to, I always flip this loop up, just like this, just so it doesn't go back over. I always put it up. Then you're going to wet it. And then you're just going to grab your tag end, which is not that one. You're going to pull that tight. Snug down. Grab your other line. Snug it down. And this knot is so strong, I find it's even hard to cut it off the line. But it's just a very small knot, not very cumbersome on the eye of your hook like the clinch knot is. So then you can just it's good to go. So you can trim your tag end, and you're ready to catch fish. So I use this knot on my when I'm tying a Texas rig Senko. So like one of these guys. If I'm Texas rigging like a craw or something for flipping, I use it on like with a flipping jig, my frogs, basically anything that's a little heavier. And all my fluorocarbon gets tied with a Palomar knot. For whatever reason, I find fluorocarbon and Palomar knots agree with each other. They just, for whatever reason, the fluorocarbon is just better with a Palomar knot, in my opinion. Doesn't mean it's the right opinion, but that's what I think. Alright, so last knot. Oh, sorry, punched you there, camera. So I do not know what it is called. It was just recently taught to me, but I figured I'd put it in the video because it's kind of fun to tie. So you take your main line and you put it through the eye of the hook like you do for the clinch knot, but you pull out a long tag. So then what you're going to want to do, you're not going to worry about leaving a loop there. I'm just going to tilt you guys up a bit so you can kind of see this. Alright. Then what you're going to do, you're going to pull this down, both ends. You're going to take that long tag you tied and you're going to pull it down. What you're going to want to do now is just throw your lure around your line. Oops, don't catch your main line. There you go. Yep, you're just going to wrap that around about 7 times. And you're going to take your tag that you just wrapped around there. You're going to put it through that loop at the top that you made when you brought it down. I really hope you guys can see this. Put that through there. And then you're just going to pull it tight. And then you're just going to wet it. Grab your main line. You're just going to slide it down to your knot. You're just going to pull this tight. There we go. Pull it super tight there. So it's snugged up there, right down to the hook. So now it's ready to go. I really hope you guys could see that. It's a little tricky filming this, but it seems, like I said, I've never fished this knot. Buddy uses it flipping. Guy I know uses it flipping, and he seems to like it. He showed it to me, so yeah. But I'm excited to try it in the spring, see how it does. We got a trip coming up, opening weekend on the French River, so I'll be trying it then. Probably on a frog or a jig or something, just to see how it goes. It seems like a fairly strong knot. I mean, I've tied a couple on and give them a good pull, but you never know until you get it in the water. So we'll see in the spring. But those are 3 basic knots that I know how to tie. They are fairly easy to tie, fairly basic knots. Strong knots, I find they all work well. Even the one that I haven't used yet, I find it seems like a good solid knot. But just remember, find out something that works for you. If it works for you, it doesn't matter if it works for anybody else, as long as it works for you. And remember, when you're fishing, anything goes.